Journal entry, 7th of the month of January, in the year of our Lord, 1117. For 2 years we have campaigned in these foreign lands. At first it was just our own army, and we besieged and took the castle at Tripolis. Afterwards we moved on towards the major fortifications of Beirut, and took those as well after a long siege. The heat of the desert, the dryness of the air, the foreign tastes and smells, it all renders us homesick. My father has told me tales as a child of him and his group of adventurers traveling these here lands, and he fought a lion to the death. How may I ever measure up to him, I cannot fathom. His legend looms so large. As news was brought of the arrival of the Crusaders, we decided to venture east and besiege Baalbek. There, outside the castle, we came upon a slave traders' camp. The knights decided to chase them off, and they fled upon beholding us cresting the hills. Among the slaves we found a young woman, Bothild, who was in a terrible condition. She had been abducted in the lands of the north and sold into slavery. Her wounds were festering, and she had lost a leg and an eye. We treated her as best we could, and I had stayed by her side. She found my own disfigurement strangely comforting, and quickly a bond formed between us, something I had never considered possible. Verily, the Lord works in mysterious ways. We have asked the priest to give us his blessing, as we did not wish to wait for a more appropriate occasion, giving that both of us already had brushes with death, and might yet fall to the reaper, she to her wounds, or me in battle. The situation in France is very volatile as well, with so many men away on the Crusades to the Holy Land. Duke Eudes of Aquitaine, who's gone insane. He's not even that old yet, but he has gone insane, and he has attempted to rise up against the Emperor of Francia in a move to gain his independence. But the war, by the looks of it, is not going well. Armies are fighting everywhere around Toulouse, and so far we are keeping to ourselves and maintaining the peace as best we can. The Duke Bernat, of course, himself is already in poor health and aging, and so is the Duchess, but both of them have lived happily and peacefully. However, news from the faraway lands of the Middle East are not particularly encouraging, especially that we've heard that Raoulf has been badly wounded in battle. Yet the army, after the major victory over the enemy, is moving forward to besiege Acre, and then from there on we shall move on towards Jerusalem itself once it is held, and then we will take the castle, and hopefully can make an end to this slaughter and this crusade. However, Allebrand von Schwerin, who had been maimed in battle as well, I didn't even know he was. Oh no, he was a blade master, so he was very good with the blade. But he has died from his internal injuries, and leaving Amesence a widow. And that obviously, unfortunately, leaves the position of seneschal, I believe, and steward open. So we will have to see who we can find who is equally capable. Unfortunately, we could get one of the mayors to be involved in this. But let's see if we can find somebody who is better suited. Do we have someone unmarried? Péon, who's 19. Let's see if we can find him a spouse who is capable of stewardship. Will be 19, and I think the best suited towards the steward would be 17. Okay, so that's slightly better. That'd be slightly better than the mayor who we have around. So if he gets married, he can get married to Eleonora, who is a content zealot. I'll take it. Then actually, let's do that. That's better. Okay, there we go. That's better. Had a filter selected. We have we've got Faidida, who is what, the resentful villain? No. Who can we find? He's just 19, but yeah, not really. I think Eleonora is probably the best choice here. So let's get her. Let's get her married in, and then she can take on the role of steward, which I think, should be able to be taken up by women. Or is it just because that's? I will see. It could just because it's the mayor. That'd be the only reason. But the seneschal, I think we already have. Yeah, we've got Emma, who is who's having a good aptitude for this, so we'll appoint her, and she will be sent to organize the court. And with that, and we're actually short a bodyguard as well, so we get Raulf appointed, and with that we are only going to wait and see with the steward. So my counselor died. I really should not let my counselors fight, actually. Let's see, so we'll have to exclude a few people from being knights. Let's see, so Master of the Horse, he can fight. Marshal, obviously, he can fight. Aldéric will fight. Personal champion. At commanders, he's the commander. Caravan master. The chancellor, no, he shall not fight. When I don't care about the mayor. My garden hermit, he's too old to fight. We'll not send him in there. All right, there we go. It's better. So let's await. While we're besieging Acre, let's await and see what the situation will bring. And okay, Eleonora is there, but I am actually, yeah. The only reason that she's in here actually is because she is one of my vassals, and I don't have any female unmarried courtiers who are of age, except for Ermesens. We could try to find somebody again. Let's have a stewardship. Egbert von Tübingen. Could we convince him to? Oh no, with the poor Ermesens, she just lost her husband. Let's not do that. So I think we'll actually get Mayor Laurent of Mende to be our steward for now, and he will be tasked with the increasing of the development in Toulouse, which is what he should be doing. All right. So with that, we are back to the siege, and troops are moving everywhere really at this point. But we just want to make sure that the castle is being held, and then we will move south towards Jerusalem itself, while the rest of the Crusaders are moving east at this point, and I think a lot of them are going to be lost in these endeavors. But we have concentrated on a few sieges, while we are losing some of the people. And there comes the army back in the north. We're losing some of the people who have been joining these crusades so far. The armies on the north are returning, and we may have to actually have to give battle soon. But so far, I don't think we'll have to be afraid. Battles are given to the east, where they are besieging the major fortifications in Tiberias. But I'm more interested in finishing the siege in Acre, and the rest of the Crusaders can deal with the battles there. Everybody moves about. We are securing our supply lines and finishing off the siege there. Okay, we have taken the siege. Nobody's been taken prisoner, and from there I believe we can move towards Jerusalem itself and begin besieging the holy city, and see if we can make good on the end of the crusade. But before that, the crusade for the kingdom of Jerusalem is over, and it looks like the Caliph Sharim ibn al-Majd of the Fatimid Sultanate has seen the losses and has declared the city an open city rather than waiting for yet another siege. And with that, us being the main beneficiaries, Elodie, my daughter, has become the Queen of Jerusalem, with René, her husband, who is now a Crusader, being the crowned King of Jerusalem at 18 years. We have received our share of the war chest of almost 800 gold, an insane amount of prestige and piety. But with that, the crusade has been successful. St. George has granted Queen Elodie victory in the crusade for Jerusalem. After defeating Caliph Sharif and his heathen warriors on several occasions, our warriors forced the enemies of the faith to admit their ignominious defeat. With the occupied lands firmly under the leadership of a pious Catholic ruler, we can rest assured that the divine will of St. George has been enacted. This is a glorious day for all true followers of the cross. And with that, so be it. There is a plague spreading nearby. We have in our old age become a legendary figure, as we shall disband all armies at this point, as the father of the Queen of Jerusalem. And yes, she is the legitimate ruler, her husband as king with her. So now we have a plague at our hands by the looks of it. So, okay, yeah, once again, we have to deal with that sort of situation. So immediately we're going to get Hermesens to begin controlling plagues. And while everybody returns home, hopefully in this jubilant moment, this shall pass. So the first thing we're actually going to do is, we can't even interact with her. I would have said we should, she is the Crusader Queen now, and has become a major, the House of Villeron is now in control of the Holy Lands, and she has a lot of work to do if she is to prevail. But as a father, Duke Bernard, the Strange of Toulouse, could not be prouder. And also with that, Aldéric is returning home with his wife Bothild Svensdotter Sverker, who is an ambitious but humble and generous young woman who has been having a really hard life. And she is suffering from, her wounds are festering, she is suffering, she has only one leg and one eye. But the two of them have been brought together in hard times, and as such, I shall absolutely approve of this marriage. But now we do have to we do have a good amount of coin coming from the crusade. However, now we will have to see what we do with that. I am almost thinking of, can we upgrade this? So if we upgrade this, it'll give us 10 more plague resistance. Or do we have any other options? We also have the Pilgrim's Quarters, which we can upgrade. Well, it's not quite as effective. So what's the plague resistance in the north? Is at about 20. Quercy is better. Yeah, I think the plague resistance in the castles is pretty impressive. But yeah, as much as we can, we hope we shall resist the plagues. I'm not going to start any legends now, but we could commission a legend artifact for 600 coin. So my antiquarian, who's my antiquarian currently, Cecile, could be producing a book to commemorate the legend. Now the thing is that Aldéric already has a book, which is the illustrious journal of the travels of Bernard de Villeron. So I think instead of wasting the coin on that, we have instead of that, I think we are going to simply improve the life of the citizens in these uncertain times and deal with the plague as it starts once more. Okay, we're actually lacking the innovations to construct. We need windmills to construct the mausoleum, and we don't have that innovation, so there's not much we can do about that. I don't think there's anything that we can actually still upgrade beyond the second level. So for the farm upgrade, we would need a keep building, and we can't upgrade to the keep because we don't have the battlements innovation. And battlements is still far away, whereas our current fascination, if we look at the Toulousian culture, is on knighthood, which is about 9 years away. Where would be battlements? So that is going to improve the knight effectiveness, but I think Castle Bailey's might be giving us battlement. Not seeing it anywhere else. There will also be a few civic improvements that we could make, but for now, hoardings. So this unlocks all fortification buildings. And this unlocks all military buildings. So hoardings would probably be the one to unlock that, unless this is actually in an it's in an earlier. It's in the earlier period. So it's okay. So I wonder if this would just supersede it, if we did this instead. But we're almost done with this. So if we're changing the fascination now, it's going to change that quite a bit. We've still got a lot of things that aren't actually complete here yet. A few more things that automatically, things get discovered automatically by themselves. It's just which one we're focusing on. So I wonder if changing the focus to hoardings, that would take it 20 years. 20 years of fascination. But that would, I think, unlocks, we might actually have to do the battlements first. That only takes 13 years, and we might not be able to get through the second stage. Okay, we'll do this one. I don't know if these are across each other. But in the meantime, we don't have an awful lot else that we can spend our coin on. So let's not empty our coffers just without good reason. But instead, none of these can be upgraded because we're missing the necessary technology. But instead, I think it is a good time to hold a feast and or to run another inspection across the lands. But with the plague approaching, probably we should hold a feast to celebrate the safe return of my sons from and the elevation of Elodie as Queen of Jerusalem. So let's do that. We'll be holding a feast. Okay, we'll hold it in honor of Thierry, who has successfully led the campaign and has returned home to find that his wife had died in her sleep. All of them have received the Crusader warrior faith trait, but it shall be held in his honor, and we're going to plan it that way. So let's begin the feast. The servants ran across the hall, bringing the final decorations. Some of the guests are yet to arrive, and I indulge myself with a delicious drink by the fire. Oh, I seem to have spotted some roast swan already. Roast swan, because we've got a lovely time ahead of us. And hopefully that. With the establishment of a proper Catholic queen in Jerusalem, the faithful can finally rest easy, knowing that St. George is smiling upon our good work. The fact that the new ruler of Jerusalem belongs to my dynasty is only further proof of our divine favor. So now, no, we're not going to begin. We're not going to be, as tempting as it is, we're not going to be playing as Queen Elodie of Jerusalem. It'll be time to focus back on my own realm and let her be in her new environment. So the feast is being planned. Thierry, the guest of honor, and Raoulf, the disfigured, will be honored as well with everybody else. But alas, just as we were preparing the feast, a messenger arrived that the pox had entered our territory, and infestations have been reported from the north. So I think we will enter seclusion once more. And thus, a few candles survive after the last of the guests has left. I can hear a pair of servants letting out sighs of relief after the doors close. The food is still warm on the ceramic plates. Soon, word will reach each corner of the realm, and every noble worth their salt will know that my magnificence is unparalleled. With all my guests leaving my castle with the entire contents of my vast pantry in their bellies, I am proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my wife Pironella to thank for much of its success, and I feel nothing but gratitude as she sees the last few guests off. So with that, everybody has gained, has lost some stress. Unfortunately, the plague in the meantime has covered vast areas, and I believe it is time for my family to enter seclusion, after we had already isolated the capital. And with that, we are going to carefully observe the further happenings and the spreadings of the plague, and hopefully with Emerson's excellent work, we can manage to avoid having anybody getting sick in their old age. But as it is with plagues, you never know how these things are going. So we will just have to wait and see, and live in our seclusion while the plague ravages the cities and castles out and about. As I am sitting in seclusion in my room in the castle, I have yet another perk available from scholarship, and I think open-minded is a good one. So just my opinion of different cultures from all the travels have been improved. Other than that, not much. Yeah, the plague is running rampant. It is a major outbreak, and so far it has crossed our borders, but it has not penetrated the capital. So my court should still be safe, and we should have we've got a plague resistance of 90 now here from isolated capital and everything else. So hopefully this will pass us once more, and not be the end of us. While we are waiting out the last remnants of the pox ravaging our lands, Radomir, my old friend, has died of fatal apoplexy at the age of 64. He is survived by his wife Christina, but the two of them were not blessed with any children. And with that, the accolade has gone, I believe. Which would have gone to Aldéric. Yes, Aldéric has become the acclaimed knight, and his successor is Mushin Yamalid, the knight we picked up. I might change that actually. No, he's the most he's the best candidate for that. So he is going to be the next in line for it. But for now, he is, Aldéric is holding it himself, which is going to probably have to change once he takes over the reins. But we're just waiting for the last of the pox to die away, and I think we're almost there, and then we can emerge from seclusion finally and begin once again rebuilding the country after it has been ravaged by this plague. It's been a long time, but we can emerge from seclusion, and finally we're out, and then we can also end our capital isolation. Has already ended, I believe. Yeah, has already ended. So I think we've yes. Okay, I thought we lost some control here from the isolation, but I don't really see it. Finally, the plague has left the realm, and we must take this as an opportunity to rise from the chaos it left in its wake. We now emerge from the wreckage of the old world, and the time has come to consider the new. And that gives us 5%, absolutely. We must spare no expense to rebuild, and that gives us +5 development per month. So that should significantly improve that. Development's at 24 now, just as comparison. If we're looking at the Ile-de-France, where Versailles and the Barony of Paris sit, development's at 19. So Toulouse is rapidly becoming a haven for all for development and for all to see. Now, given that we are still ways away from the battlements, which is actually over here. Yeah, we're still 12 years away from that discovery. I think, and since we can't really upgrade anything, we can't really do any more upgrades in Toulouse itself. It is time to potentially improve the neighboring countries a little bit. So Quercy, for example, could do with an upgrade here. We are constructing a temple in Rouergue, and Rodez actually could get the legendary statue, but honestly, I don't think it's necessarily worth it. That's we better spend our coin elsewhere, improving the life of the commoners, than wasting such an amount on legendary statues. Right, there we go. I'm not going to ask my sons for payment. That would be ridiculous. And I'm definitely going to not ask the head of faith for anything. We may ask him for some gold. And it looks like the Pope has actually changed. I'm not sure what happened to his predecessor, but Pope Victor III has taken over the papacy, and he is much more of a man of my own heart. And it looks like the glory that Pope Alexander was presuming to gain for himself has been his downfall, and he has been replaced. Meanwhile, Elodie in Jerusalem has brought along Princess Peronella of Jerusalem, and she seems to be dealing with her own plagues. But popular opinion is not quite there yet. But obviously, a lot of the population is of a different is of a different culture and different religion, but we'll let her live her own life, and it's time to concentrate on the family that's left in Toulouse. Faidida has left for Apulia quite a while ago, the Duchess, Princess of Fashion. She has her own children. So Judith de Hauteville is one of my other grandchildren, and Antoine and his wife are remaining. Obviously, Augier, his wife, are here as well, and Raoulf, the disfigured, as well as his wife and family, and Aldéric with his wife Bothild, who is still dealing with, who probably will never really be hale again, but it is, well, as long as the two of them are happy together. Richenza has given birth once more, and to my grandson, Ubald de Villeron. So may he grow strong and wise. Now we'd have to look actually who is, let's not do that, who is in need of a guardian. Him, obviously. So let's find a guardian, and I think that would be probably his father would be the best person to look after him, if we can find him in the long list. There he goes, Raoulf de Villeron, who is a Crusader and warrior of faith. So we shall send that proposal as well. And then continue on our merry way while the remnants have been removed. We have discovered the bailiff's innovation. That is great news. That should mean that we can, yes, now we just have to have the, now we can actually change the fascination again, because we don't need to do the battlements anymore. So we can get back to the knighthood. All right, then that's underway. And with that, I think we can, okay, so that was probably even from an earlier period, but with that, once we have the coin, we can begin improving the castles further. Actually, we have a building slot now in Toulouse. That's great. That's great news. We could, what could we put? Hospices might not be bad, just for more plague resistance. Or we can get hunting grounds might not be bad as well. What have we stationed in Toulouse? Let's have a quick look. Right now we have the heavy cavalry stationed in Toulouse. So would there be any benefit of stables? Heavy cavalry damage plus 20%, and but no tax income or anything like that. However, I think stables is a good addition for Toulouse itself, and we can obviously now here as well in Beaumont-sur-Lez add additional buildings. So given the we could do a trade port, although I still don't see how that works since it's not actually. No, we're not doing that because it sounds silly, because it's not at, well, maybe it's a river trader. Well, let's do it then. Maybe it's a river trader. So let's get the trade board going. We'll just claim that it's along the river, and maybe that's it. Yeah, it's along the river towards Bordeaux. And with that, we'll get that under construction as well. Does that? No, that's only for Toulouse itself. But we're running out of coin. But we could also build something in the bishopric of Pamiers. So I think we've spent our coin well. We could ask the Pope for additional funds to upgrade our buildings. That might not actually be a bad idea. Let's see what he would be willing to contribute to our coffers, and with that we can can we upgrade the castle with that? because we're already constructing. Okay, so once the construction is through, we should be able to upgrade the Toulouse castle as well. No, we're not starting a legend, so that's the next step. Duchess Peronella, my wife, my soulmate, the woman who has made all of this possible, has died in her sleep peacefully at the ripe old age of 68. At least the memories remain, and I think we can be proud of what we have achieved as we lay her to rest and once more look upon the lands now alone. And I think Duke Bernat, who is at about the same age, is probably going to follow her into the next life relatively soon. He has achieved amazing feats coming from a simple country boy, and has carved out his piece in history, not just in Toulouse, but also with his daughter Queen Elodie of Jerusalem becoming one of the most famed queens in the known world.